Coming up on Valley View News, a man dies after a hit and run in Pacoima, how the elderly suspect was arrested. Plus, after a 12-hour outage, AT&T says its customers deserve a reimbursement. And actor James Hong leaves his legacy in front of the TCL Chinese Theater in Hollywood.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Carolina Tello.
And I'm Marc Monroy. One person is dead and several others injured after a six-car pileup in Reseda. The Los Angeles Fire Department says the crash was on West Van Noen Street on Sunday afternoon. Of the 11 people reported to be involved, 3 drivers were trapped in their car, including one who was pronounced dead on the scene. The fire department was able to rescue the 2 others, and 6 people were transported to local hospitals. Authorities say their conditions are not immediately known.
3 people are dead following a violent car crash on the 5 freeway in Boyle Heights. The California Highway Patrol says the collision happened Sunday morning just after 2:45 a.m. The black SUV facing the wrong direction slammed into a wall on the northbound Calzona on-ramp. The SUV burst into flames, and the Los Angeles Fire Department extinguished the flames before they could spread to the surrounding areas. The identities of the victims haven't been released, and the cause of the crash is still under investigation.
A hit-and-run driver is behind bars today after running over a man in Pacoima. Police say 70-year-old Arturo Sepulveda was driving a silver Nissan Cube eastbound on Van Nuys Boulevard Saturday night when he hit a pedestrian and left the scene. The 29-year-old victim died moments later. Sepulveda was arrested hours after the crash and booked into Van Nuys jail. He's been charged with a hit-and-run felony, and his bail is set at $50,000.
A stabbing in Westlake sent 2 people to the hospital and left children in danger. Early Monday morning, LA police were called to an apartment complex along Bonnie Bray Street after a man stabbed 2 women. When police arrived, they found the man hiding, using 2 children to barricade himself inside the apartment. The children were rescued uninjured, and the suspect had repeatedly stabbed himself before being taken to the hospital.
The search is on for a suspect who police say killed a man following an altercation in Koreatown. Investigators say it happened at the intersection of Western Avenue and Olympic Boulevard around 10:45 p.m. on Thursday. When officers responded to the assault with a deadly weapon call, they were told 2 men were involved in a verbal altercation after the suspect pepper sprayed the victim. The 63-year-old victim died at the scene, but it's still unclear as to how. It is unknown if he had any other medical conditions. Police have very limited information on the suspect, who is only being described as a man in his 30s. If you have any information, you are urged to contact the LAPD.
A mudslide has blocked a portion of the PCH in the Malibu area for the 3rd time since last week's storm. Video shows rocks falling on the highway just west of Big Rock. Damage show erosion on the hillside and flooding on the road. Most of the road closures are no longer in effect despite officials saying they would not reopen until Friday. Each direction on the highway is reduced to 1 lane due to railing blocking off most of the road as crews further assess the damage. Officials say that there were several cars damaged by the slide, but no injuries have been reported.
2 children are dead after falling into Sacramento River near Shasta Dam. It happened Thursday morning just north of Redding. The Shasta Sheriff's Office say the kids slipped down a riverbank in part of a small landslide. They were hurt by the rocks and debris that tumbled loose from the hillside. Both died at the scene. Their ages have not been announced.
Locally, a popular wedding venue has abruptly shut down due to unstable grounds. Valley View News was the last organization to be allowed inside to tour the damages. We're here in Rancho Palos Verdes in Long Beach, where the iconic glass church is closing down indefinitely. Historic landmark Wayfarers Chapel has abruptly shut its doors due to unsafe land movement in the immediate area. The chapel's grounds manager says 5 feet of movement from Narcisca Drive has caused the chapel to shift towards Palo Verdes Drive. The accelerated land movement caused dangerous cracks on roads, pathways, and the property itself, with cracks on glass and on walkways. They've already had to replace 8 broken glass panes, and inspectors think the damage could keep getting worse.
We're still going to make it as magical as possible.
Nicole Ellen Bass had planned her wedding at Wayfarers Chapel in April. Now, she's scrambling to find a new location.
But we are on a very tight time crunch. We basically have a little over 2 months now. So it doesn't give us a lot of options.
The closure is not only impacting couples, but wedding photographers such as Jessie Rowan say they're losing business.
I have booked about 5 weddings for 2024 here at Wayfarers Chapel, and luckily all those clients were able to find alternative venues, so I'm still shooting their wedding. But since I'm based in Palos Verdes, now scrambling to find other venues, I will have to travel farther, which will kind of hurt my business.
The chapel will be giving full refunds, and there has been a GoFundMe set up to help with renovations. In Long Beach, I'm Carolina Teo reporting for Valley View News. As of now, no reopen date has been announced. The Bakersfield Fire Department received calls on Saturday night about vehicles on fire in the car of a moving train. Video shows a railroad car caught fire near downtown Bakersfield, resulting in multiple vehicles being destroyed. The locomotive stopped around the Mechanics Bank Arena under Highway 99. Fire department chief said the train had to be moved before crews can begin fighting the blaze due to smoke affecting traffic. The cause of the fire is yet unknown, and it is unclear if it has been successfully put out yet.
A mall in Torrance has a new policy requiring people under 18 to be accompanied by adults on Fridays and Saturday afternoons. The rule will take effect March 1st and is implemented because of fights that broke out at the Del Amo Fashion Center. The mall experienced many violent altercations, including one in December when hundreds of kids swarmed the place, allegedly planning to destroy it. Adults must now show their IDs to prove that they are at least 21 years old. One adult can accompany up to 4 minors.
Death Valley National Park has a new lake due to excessive rain in California. The National Park Service says the rainwater fell in the Badwater Basin to create the lake. It is a rather unusual spot because the location is one of the driest places in the U.S. Due to the heavy rainfall over the past 6 months, Death Valley National Park got up to 4.9 inches of rain. The NPS says that all hotels and campgrounds are open for tourists to stay in.
Rebecca Grossman was found guilty by a jury for hitting and killing 2 kids in a crosswalk. Grossman was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder and 1 count of hit-and-run driving resulting in death. After the guilty verdict, Grossman was handcuffed. She faces up to 34 years to life in prison. Her sentencing hearing is set in April.
Over $1 million of stolen goods were uncovered during a bust in Riverside County. Deputies searched a retail store in Hemet where they found stolen electronics and baby essentials hidden inside a warehouse storage area. A stolen semi-truck and trailer were also uncovered in the raid, which authorities believe were used to carry the looted products. 2 suspects were arrested in connection to the crimes and charged with grand theft and possession of stolen goods. This raid was part of multi-state operation investigating retail crime and trailer cargo theft.
California Governor Newsom announced a multi-million-dollar ad campaign combating abortion trafficking bills under consideration. The campaign specifically targets a proposed bill in Tennessee that would make it a felony offense for adults to help minors obtain an abortion without parental consent.
These guys are not just restricting the rights of self-determination to bear a child for a young woman, but they're also determining their fate as it relates to their future in life by saying they can't even travel.
The key sponsor of the bill, Republican State Representative Jason Zachary, says the bill is to protect parental rights and ensure no adult preys on pregnant minors.
Former President Donald Trump secured an overwhelming victory in the South Carolina GOP primary on Saturday. The win continues his undefeated streak and brings him closer to becoming the party's nomination. Despite losing in her home state, Nikki Haley proved she was no sore loser after congratulating Trump on his win while thanking her supporters.
I want to congratulate Donald Trump on his victory. And I want to thank the people of South Carolina for using the power of your voice.
Haley says she will continue her campaign for president.
Angelinos, get ready to dial in. The greater LA area is getting a new phone area code. According to the California Public Utilities Commission, the new area code 738 will be activated as an overlay on previous area codes. It was created to meet the high demand for numbers in the area. The CPUC says the existing codes are gonna run out of number combinations for the first 3 numbers after the area code by June of next year.
More to come on Valley View News. A World War II bomb was found in a garden in England and taken out to sea. And the Los Angeles Kings took on the Anaheim Ducks, which ended in a shootout. We have the details when we come back after this break.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
Welcome back. Let's travel to news overseas. Giselle Lomeli is in our digital media center with the latest international updates. Giselle?
An update on the war in Gaza, where officials say more than 29,000 people have been killed. It has raised questions towards the future of the area. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealed a plan that would close off the southern border with Egypt to complete demilitarization. It would also rebuild Gaza's civil administration and education systems. Netanyahu says the plan would include security control along the entire sector west of Jordan and the West Bank. The United Arab Emirates, Egypt, and other key parties have rejected the plan. An unexploded World War II bomb was found in a garden in Plymouth, England. 10,000 people were blocked from entering parts of the city in order to allow experts to relocate and discharge the bomb into the ocean. Local parliament says the decision to detonate the bomb at sea was taken after considering all options were too risky. The bomb was carefully loaded onto a truck, which drove slowly to the slipway so it could be loaded onto a boat, which the boat took the bomb out to sea where it was safely detonated. Supply and demand for Western defense has been at its highest since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The International Institute for Strategic Studies says that there was a rise of 9% in this year, making for a $2.2 trillion defense purchase. Officials say that the war in Gaza and the October attacks on Israel also contributed to the percentage of defense spending. According to CNN, the appeal of defense stocks is not likely to end anytime soon due to the growth in government spending. And on a lighter note, a museum in London is seeking to hire a Taylor Swift superfan. The person hired would be tasked to advise the museum's guests about the importance of Swift's music, as well as having knowledge regarding Swift's friendship bracelets that her fans usually exchange. The museum has yet to disclose a salary, but Swifties have until March 7th to apply. I can think of a million people that would be willing to take the job, especially if it means talking about Taylor and living in London. I would probably take it. What about you?
Well, personally, I wouldn't take it, but I do think that my brother who lives in Miami would 100% take it. Giselle, thank you. AT&T says it has restored services to all customers after tens of thousands were affected by a nationwide outage last week. The company says it is giving their customers a $5 credit for the 12-hour outage. The credit will not be issued to customers under AT&T's business or prepaid plans or those under Cricket Wireless. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency told CNN they have worked closely with the mobile company to understand the cause of the outage and its impact. AT&T says it is preventing this from happening again.
Airlines are increasing the prices for checked bags again. Some of the airlines raising their prices are American Airlines, United Airlines, and JetBlue Airways. American Airlines customers traveling in coach will pay $35 to check a first bag for domestic flights if the service is booked online in advance. That's compared to the $30 they paid previously. United began to charge customers $5 more for bag fees, creating either $35 or $40 bags. Each airline charges customers more when they check their bags at the airport compared to when they pay for their checked bags ahead of time online.
Sometimes therapy is a way to talk about your feelings. But what is this like with a dog? Valley View News' Daniel Herrera tells us what it's like to have a therapy dog at your side.
Whether one's therapist has a wagging tail or consoles without using words, there's no doubt that dog therapy works its magic. But it's a connection between human and dog that puts one's mind at ease.
I spent a fair amount of time in the hospital myself, and therapy dogs were always a good kind of calming presence in a kind of time that was full of turmoil and kind of hard to deal with. They were kind of a light in that darkness.
A study by the National Library of Medicine found that unstructured interactions with a therapy dog can notably reduce self-reported anxiety and distress levels. This alone shows a meaning behind dog therapy.
Who wouldn't like to see a dog come and greet them in a stressful situation? I think that the dogs, just even being here, they automatically make everybody just feel good and happy, and I think it really works to help with any stress that any of the kids would be having and anxiety.
These furry pals can teach many things. After all, it seems it is in the dog's nature to give unconditional love and know the value of a good friend. Dog therapy is meant to provide affection, comfort, and support. But I think we're forgetting the most important part, which is how the dog feels. So, how do you feel about meeting new people? Great answer. In Santa Clarita, I'm Danny Herrera, Valley View News.
Thank you, Daniel. A measles outbreak in Florida is growing. Health officials confirmed a 7th case in a child under 5 years old. The child is the youngest to be infected with the virus, and it is the first patient to be identified outside of Manatee Bay Elementary School in Weston. State Surgeon Joseph Ladapo has been letting parents choose to send their children to school with measles, which could allow for the spread to get even worse. Health experts say cases keep spreading.
The Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos would be protected under the Wrongful Death of a Minor Act. The ruling was announced Friday. IVF, otherwise known as in vitro fertilization, is when an egg is taken from a woman's body and combined with sperm in a lab. That mixture is then implanted back into the woman. More than 8 million children are born from IVF in the U.S. IVF is also important for freezing eggs. Freezing the eggs is helpful for genetic testing, in which labs look at the eggs to make sure there are no genetic problems. With the new ruling, IVF labs are now responsible for the safety of eggs that are already very delicate. 3 IVF labs have shut down in Alabama since the ruling.
When we come back, a handful of famous filmmakers buy a movie theater in Westwood. Also, an ex-NFL star was arrested for DUI. Stay with us. Welcome back. The SAG Awards held their 30th annual ceremony at the Shrine Auditorium and Expo Hall in Los Angeles over the weekend. The show was streamed live on Netflix for the first time, which made it very different from other award shows, since it had no ad breaks and no bleeps. Although this year's ceremony did not have official hosts, Idris Elba unofficially filled in by opening and closing the show. Jennifer Aniston and Bradley Cooper presented Barbra Streisand with the SAG Life Achievement Award.
Thank you. Thank you, SAG-AFTRA. I'm very proud to be a member for over 60 years. I can't quite believe it.
Streisand had been a part of the SAG-AFTRA for more than 60 years and said in her speech that she's always dreamed of being an actress as a teenager in Brooklyn.
A 93-year-old Los Angeles landmark in Westwood has new owners. The Village Theater had been around since the 1930s and is still one of the top theaters to host big Hollywood movie premieres. Bradley Cooper, Steven Spielberg, and Chloe Zhao, and Christopher Nolan are just some of the investors who have acquired it. Film director Jason Reitman enlisted the help of some of Hollywood's most influential actors, writers, and directors to help purchase the theater. Reitman says he hopes to offer a true community for anyone who loves movies.
Vin Diesel has officially announced that he is moving forward with the finale of the Fast and Furious franchise. He posted on Instagram after his meeting with the writers Friday that the finale was a go. Diesel is embroiled in a sexual battery suit brought by his former assistant, who claims the incident happened at a hotel in 2010. The movie star has denied any wrongdoing. The 11th installment is scheduled to come out on April 4th, 2025, about 2 years after Fast X.
Beyoncé is trading in her high heels for some cowboy boots in her new country album. The singer-songwriter was praised in a social media post by country singer Dolly Parton for making it on the Billboard 100. The country hit Texas Hold'em is a tribute to where the singer is from. It marks a cultural shift for the singer, as she is the first female black singer to top the charts with a country song. The full album will be released March 29th.
James Hong, a star in the hit movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, has cemented his legacy in Hollywood. The 95-year-old placed his hand and footprints in front of the TCL Chinese Theater IMAX as he honored his 7-decade-long acting career on his birthday. Other stars at the ceremony included filmmaker Daniel Wan and Daniel Scheinert, who directed Everything Everywhere All at Once. Hong was born in Minneapolis and had some of his first gigs at unconventional places. He was put in charge of live shows at Camp Rucker, Alabama, where soldiers trained to be deployed for the Korean War. Now, he is supplying voices for Kung Fu Panda movies.
Former Seattle Seahawk Richard Sherman was arrested for driving under the influence. Sherman was booked into King County Jail in Seattle early Saturday morning. Sherman has had a history with DUIs. He pleaded guilty in 2022 in front of his in-laws' house for 2 domestic violence misdemeanors. Sherman's bail was set at $5,000, and his court appearance is scheduled for later this week.
Moving over to game highlights, the LA Kings hosted the Anaheim Ducks in a freeway face-off last Saturday.
Pepe tips it. Doughty shoots, scores!
Longtime Kings player Drew Doughty scored a slap shot in the final seconds of the second period to tie the game and send it into a penalty shootout after the scoreless third period. It would be Trevor Moore who put the Kings on the brink of victory following a perfectly placed wrist shot to the keeper's left. Anaheim would miss their final shot following a great save from Kings keeper David Riddick. The Kings ended with a 3-2 win.
Many people consider him the greatest soccer player of all time. Lionel Messi and Inter Miami came to the City of Angels to face off against the LA Galaxy. LA striker Dejan Jovic opened the score in the 75th minute, but Messi tied it in the 92nd. The final score was 1-1. LA's next game is Saturday against the Earthquakes in San Jose in the California Clásico.
The Los Angeles Football Club broke a record against the Seattle Sounders on Saturday. They are now the first club ever to win the MLS season opener for the 7th straight year.
Through Jordan Morris, the first stop for Hugo Lloris in MLS.
After not 1, not 2, heck, not even 3, but a total of 7 saves were made by World Cup winning captain and goalie Hugo Lloris, who LA got from Europe in the offseason. LA scored first at the end of the half after Tillman struck a wide-open volley from inside the box following Omar Campos' cross. The second goal came in the 55th minute following a screamer from outside the penalty area. Lloris would concede a Seattle penalty goal, but it wouldn't be enough for the Sounders. The game finished 2-1.
More on sports in LA. Fans are celebrating as Laker legend Kobe Bryant was honored with a statue outside the Crypto.com arena. Valley View News' Edward Siegel tells us how much the Black Mamba and his statue mean to the fans.
The Lakers have had many legends don the purple and gold, but none of them embody the Laker mentality like Kobe Bryant.
On February 8th, the Black Mamba statue was unveiled in front of his wife, kids, and many of his former coaches and teammates. Kobe's 19-foot-tall statue is surrounded by replicas of the 5 championship trophies he won and sits atop a triangular base, representing the offensive system his head coach, Phil Jackson, ran for most of his career. On the statue, there is also a QR code, which fans can scan to watch Kobe's highlight reel.
It sucks that he's not here to see it, but at least his fans are here to see it. His family got to see it, obviously. It's just every statue that comes, as a Laker fan, this is probably the most deserving one.
At the unveiling, Kobe's wife, Vanessa Bryant, said the Black Mamba chose the pose himself. He picked the moment he walked off the court after his record-breaking 81-point game.
Him putting his hand in the air, it means sky's the limit. That's what it means to me.
For Francisco, the Mamba was more than just a basketball player.
He wasn't only my favorite player, he was a role model to me.
He even named his daughter, Selena Capri Francisco, after Kobe's last daughter, Capri.
You know, like he had nothing but girls. I have 2 daughters. You know, I love my daughters. And he gave me that role of being, you know, like what? It's not all about having boys. It's about having daughters and making sure that they're right and they're doing their thing.
Before the ceremony was over, Vanessa revealed one more surprise for Laker fans. The statue is the first of 3 the Mamba will receive. One will feature him in the back half of his career, wearing the number 24, and the other will show him and his daughter, Gianna.
With this statue and the 2 to come, moments like Kobe's 81-point game, his 60-point performance in the final stand of his career, and his Game 7 victory over the Boston Celtics in the 2010 NBA Finals are sure to be immortalized forever. Reporting from Los Angeles for Valley View News, I'm Edward Siegel.
Thank you, Edward. I personally have not seen the statue myself, but I can't wait to see it for the first time. Staying on the Lakers, they would see it difficult in a 123-118 win against the Spurs. Due to rookie sensation Victor Wembanyama, who had a 5-for-5 performance. LeBron James had 30 points, 9 assists, and 7 rebounds, but it would be Wembanyama's taking the spotlight for himself. The French rookie became only the 15th player in the 77-year history of the NBA to have a 5-for-5 game. 5 points, 5 rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals in one game. He also joins Michael Jordan as the only player to get at least 5 steals and blocks in back-to-back games.
Finding a size 23 shoe can be near impossible, so you can just imagine the shock and disbelief one Missouri teen felt when a Laker legend gave him an unforgettable surprise. After 16-year-old Jarrell Bolden had no luck finding a shoe his size, his mother stepped in. She started a GoFundMe page and was shocked when she was met with more than $11,000 in donations. The big surprise came when Bolden received a special package from Laker legend Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq sent him 3 boxes loaded with new shoes, clothes, and even some items from O'Neal's closet. Because Bolden's feet keep growing, he will eventually have to move up a size. Luckily for them, they have that $11,000 donation for when the time comes. You know, Carolina, I've had the pleasure of meeting people who have met Shaq, and they tell me this is exactly the type of person that Shaq is, and he's showing it.
I mean, all I can say is Shaq Claus came early this year.
That's right.
That's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Carolina Tello.
And I'm Marc Monroy. For stories any time of the day, see our YouTube channel at Valley View News and our Instagram page at Valley View News CSUN. Thanks for watching.